Most people don't notice when it happens. That's the unsettling part. Reality doesn't shatter. It doesn't collapse. It doesn't announce itself. It slips. Quietly. A cup moves when no one touches it. A street repeats itself. A moment plays twice, and then life continues. On Reddit, there's a place where people talk about these moments. Don't call them paranormal. They don't call them supernatural. They call them glitches because they don't feel like ghosts. They feel like errors. One of the most common stories begins with something simple. Someone walks into a room. They place their keys on the table. They turn around. The keys are gone. They search everywhere. Minutes later, the keys are back on the table, exactly where they were placed. No one else was home. No doors opened. No sounds were heard. The object didn't move. Reality did. Another person describes driving home on a familiar road. They take the same turn they always do. But suddenly the street is wrong. The houses are unfamiliar. The layout doesn't match memory. They drive for several minutes before realizing they should have reached home already. They turn around, and instantly they are back where they started. Same intersection, same time on the clock, as if the detour never happened. These stories repeat. Different people, different countries, same patterns. People experience time skipping forward. Hours pass in seconds, or worse, seconds repeat. A man describes hearing a sound, a book dropping. He turns, he sees it fall. Then the moment resets. The book is back on the shelf, and then it falls again. Exactly the same way, same sound, same motion, twice. He freezes because repetition isn't memory, it's observation. Others report duplicated objects, 2 identical phones on the bed, 2 wallets in the same pocket, 2 pets standing side by side. One disappears later. No explanation, no trace. The remaining object feels off, as if it doesn't fully belong. One of the most disturbing patterns involves people. Someone waves at a coworker. The coworker waves back. Moments later, the same coworker walks in through the door, confused. They had just arrived. Another describes seeing a family member walk past them at home. They speak. No response. Then they find the same person asleep in another room. These aren't doppelgangers in the traditional sense. They don't interact. They don't speak. They just occur. Then reality corrects itself. Many people report the same emotional response. Not fear, not panic, but certainty. A sudden, undeniable feeling that something is wrong, that the rules have been violated, that something noticed you noticing it. Then it's gone. Some glitches are environmental. Streetlights that turn off only when one person passes beneath them. A traffic light skipping directly from red to green. A song restarting mid-note. Others involve memory. People remember conversations that never happened. They receive replies to messages they haven't sent. They show up to appointments that were never scheduled. And yet, there is evidence. Calendar entries, notes, receipts. Reality insists the event occurred, but the person has no memory of it. One Reddit user describes waking up to a normal morning. Same routine, same breakfast, same commute. At work, someone asks about a meeting that happened yesterday. The user has no recollection. They check their notes. The meeting is written down, in their handwriting. Decisions recorded, tasks assigned. They don't remember any of it. The handwriting is theirs. The style matches, but the memory is absent. Another common theme is environmental looping. People walk through the same hallway multiple times. They reach the same corner, the same door, the same smell. No matter how they try to leave, the space folds back onto itself. Then suddenly, they're out, as if released. No one else notices. No one ever does. That's what makes these stories hard to dismiss. They're personal, isolated, unverifiable, yet eerily consistent. Skeptics point to stress, fatigue, dissociation. But dissociation doesn't duplicate objects. It doesn't rewind sound. It doesn't realign streets. Some scientists suggest our brains fill gaps in perception. But that explanation fails when multiple senses are involved. Sight, sound, touch. Witnesses often say the moment felt sharper than normal, hyper-real, as if reality briefly increased resolution. Others suggest simulation theory, that reality behaves like a rendered environment. Most of the time, it runs smoothly, but sometimes assets load incorrectly. Events trigger twice, paths misalign, errors occur, then they are patched, and the system moves on. What's unsettling is how small the glitches are. No apocalypses, no cosmic revelations, just minor inconsistencies, enough to notice, not enough to prove. Almost as if reality doesn't expect to be watched closely. Many Reddit users say the same thing. Once you notice a glitch, you notice more, not because they increase, but because your attention changes. You start questioning continuity. You stop assuming flow. And that awareness is dangerous because the world depends on assumption, on not looking too hard. Some people report that glitches stop after they acknowledge them. Others say the opposite, that attention invites repetition. No one agrees on the rules, only on the experience. One user wrote, "It felt like reality blinked." Another said, "It was like the universe corrected a typo." And another, "I didn't feel scared, I felt observed." That sentence appears often, observed, not by a being, by a system, as if reality noticed an inconsistency and resolved it, leaving the witness behind with awareness. And awareness is the real cost, because after that moment, you trust the world a little less. You assume continuity a little less. You wonder how many times things have broken without you noticing, and whether noticing is a mistake. r/glitch in the matrix continues to grow. New stories appear every day. Different languages, different lives, same quiet disruptions. No one claims to have answers. They just document. Because when reality breaks, even briefly, you want someone else to know, in case it happens again. And next time, you might not be able to ignore it.